All right, we're talking with Frank from Tank Radio. He has a YouTube channel, and this is, I believe, your second year attending.
Second year attending Moore Expo. It's been pretty much a typical Moore Expo. Rain, a little bit of chilly, and fun.
Yeah,
A lot
the
of
wind
fun.
a lot of fun. There's a ton of vendors here
Yep.
that you can see.
Yep.
Now, I wanted to get in a little bit about your YouTube channel. What motivated you to start your YouTube channel and and call it Tank Radio?
Call it Tank Radio. Well, what motivated to start the channel was I was helping out with Jason's channel for a while. I was behind the camera, and everyone's like, Frank, man, you got a great personality for YouTube. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And then I started streaming over on Jason's account, and I was shy back then, and that's when Jason was on the camera saying, Frank, talk louder. Frank, eat the mic. Frank. I'm like, fine, but now it's Frank, be quiet. You're too much. No, man, but I just, all the friends, Josh, Jason, Mike, and a bunch of other YouTubers that I'm all hanging out with, they're like, start your channel. I'm like, well, what's going to be unique? The uniqueness is your opinion, your view, because Josh's, from Jason's to Mike's to Kyle's, it's all different opinions about the same thing, and they're going to shoot it a little differently. So and I was like, all right, fine. So coming up with the name, though, I'm like, what is a good name? And I just wrote a list down of just different names and start rearranging them, radio this and Frank Radio and this radio and that radio, and then just playing it. And one of the words I wrote down was tank, because I love the Abrams tank, and I kind of had that nickname in college. So just one of the pairs that got matched up, Tank Radio, and I was like, I like that one the best, so that's what it is.
And here we have it, yeah. Yep. Well, can you share with us your personal story of getting into ham radio? What kind of shaped?
Getting into ham radio. Jason Ham Radio 2.0 is the one to blame. No, I knew him decades now, and we worked at a same company together, and I knew he was doing amateur radio, and I wanted to get into storm spotting and storm chasing, and I needed information to get the license. So I finally eventually got in touch with a local radio club. If you want to get your license, don't wait until you have a friend doing amateur radio. Go get into Google, search whatever city name, amateur radio club. Bet you dimes and dollars you'll find one, and reach out to them, because they will love to help you get on the air and teach you the test and give you tips and tricks and help you set up your first radio. So I eventually got in touch with the Hearst Club, and they had a technician classes. I went through a class, tested, and I got my license. And for the first 2, 3, let's be honest, for the first 5 or 6 years, I was a UHF VHF operator. No interest in HF. I got the bug every now and then to field day. Get out to a field day event and get your feet wet at HF, because at a field day event, you're operating under the club's license, and then you can get onto the HF airwaves and then just get a taste what the HF is like. And then now, POTA was just kind of starting out back then, but now POTA is just litting up the airwaves, and it's a great fun.
You do a lot of POTA?
I do a lot of POTA, but there's no POTA in Texas.
No POTA in Texas?
No POTA in Texas. You got to drive at least 40 minutes to get to a POTA site. And if you're going to try to do a 3-day row or a 3-park row or a 5-park row, we were just belly aching about this back at camp. You literally got to drive all day to get to each park. And I've done it. I tried it to a 5-park row. It took me 11 hours.
Wow, that's a little while.
Did not even activate them all. By the end, I was fed up.
We'll have to watch Texas in the future.
Texas is hard. All the parks are so dispersed. And unlike some of the northeastern parts of the states here, like you throw a rock and you hit 3 parks, and you can do a 20-park rove. If I try to even do a 10-park rove, I'm out there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I understand that. So how does your interest in amateur radio tie in with what goes on here at Moore Expo?
Camping. POTA, camping. You go to the park. Why just visit the park for the day? Set up your radio, set up your antenna at the campsite, and just play radio. Or something I want to try to get into, hiking. Not completely soda hiking, go on top of the mountain. I want to start here shortly, and I talked about this on my channel about a year ago. The POTA challenge is get your radio pack, and hike a mile. Flat mile. It doesn't matter. Hike a mile, set up your radio, and make the contacts then, because it's getting you out, getting you exercising, getting you experiencing the park. Because a lot of the people, and I'm super guilty of this too, driving the park. Oh, that's a picnic table that will work. Oh, there's a parking spot right there. We're walking less than 10 feet from the car to the picnic table to set everything up, and then we're done and pack up and go home.
Yeah.
So I want to get out there and experience it. Mike does a lot of hikes too. My park, Cedar Hill State Park, doesn't really have a good hiking area that I can go and set up a radio, because there's not a lot of benches out there.
Right.
I'm trying to hike the trails more to see if there is one. But I want to find a nice bench where I can throw up the antenna and play radio there.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, what are some things you go over on your channel? It's Tank Radio.
Tank Radio.
And what are some things you discuss on for those who may not be familiar yet?
It's pretty much my interest of the month. I go all over. It's whatever I'm building, whatever I'm doing. Right now I'm getting back into satellites. I just made my satellite kit, and I'm still actively trying to get my first true contact with the satellites. But there's a lot of promise here. So I have a sling bag that has the radio, the battery, the antenna is hooked to the side of it. I can go out and pick it up from the car, move it to my front, move it over to the shoulder, and assemble the whole radio, the whole antenna, without having the need of a table or anything. So everything's incorporated from it. I love it. And so I eventually want to master satellites like my friend Digital Rancher. And from there, it's just whatever else piques my interest. I started on pies and building all-star nodes, which I don't like. And I love building stuff. So if I can, I already have another antenna kit that I'm probably going to be building when I get home.
Awesome. Well, so we pretty much covered why you're interested in getting out and how Moore ties in. Do you think more amateurs are starting to get that are in overlanding and such, are interested in amateur radio? How is that moving along?
I don't know on overlanding, because a lot of people just see these GMRS radios and say, I'll get that and put it into the car and that will work. And a lot of these GMRS, I'm not going to name a couple companies, but some will say, this will work, 5 miles. We know GMRS won't even go a mile nicely.
Right.
And it's kind of misconstruing that. But if you're just traveling down the road together, GMRS will work perfectly for you. A lot of these places already on these overlanding 4x4 parks have GMRS repeaters up. So it's getting their toe wet, but it's not. They're not really looking to sink their teeth into amateur radio. It has to be kind of like a unique bug, in my opinion. But anyone's interested, I love to preach about amateur radio. I'm just not going to force it on them. But if they're interested in e-com, and also, how can I get my message out?
Right.
I will put that hand Bible in your hand and be like, let me show you how you do this.
Awesome. That sounds good. Well, you have it there from Frank directly, and it's Tank Radio. When do your new episodes come out?
Every other week. So the first and third Mondays is new episodes. Then on the second and fourth Sundays, I know it's kind of weird, I'm just in every other week just because, I used to have a job, but I want to get another one again. And that was just how I pace the stuff. But 2 episodes a week. But if you search Tank Radio in any audio podcaster out there, there's a audio release every week.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, that will let our viewers know where they can go to watch more of you. And I hope we can have you back next year.
Oh, I'll probably be here next year.
All right. Thanks a lot. We're coming to you live from the Moore Expo.